We are coming up on 90 days of President Donald Trump in office, and he is moving at record speed, signing executive orders and organizing his cabinet members to move as efficiently as possible to make America great again. His vision is all coming together in real time, and what I see happening for America is absolutely glorious. I'm going to tell you what I see, in fact, right now on American Advocates. From the hot topic of the Trump tariffs to the Department of Education, from Greenland becoming a U.S. territory to America re-seizing the Panama Canal, and from RFK Jr. making America healthy again to the Department of Government Efficiency removing government bloat, fraud, corruption, and overall bureaucracy. President Donald Trump seems to be overseeing 6 games of chess all being played at once, and the pieces are moving into place perfectly, showcasing what will be a masterful vision and plan if executed on properly. Firstly, let's talk about the very hot topic right now of the Trump tariffs. I've already made several videos on these tariffs and likely will be making several more in the future because they can't be talked about enough. These tariffs are a vital piece of the puzzle when it comes to Trump's vision for America. They are literally rebalancing the power of trade and business globally because America, despite our strength, glory, and sheer economic value across the globe, was being taken advantage of in trade by allies and countries globally for the past 30 years. But under Trump, no more. And while critics of these Trump tariffs have been crying about how it's not going to work, America's going to be isolated from the rest of the world, everything's going to get more expensive, blah, 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 the Trump tariffs have been and continue to work in real time. First and foremost, multiple large companies are pledging hundreds of billions of dollars towards reshoring back in America, and not over the next 10 years like they normally would scam a president in doing so, pulling out after the president was out of office. No, these pledges are for the next 4 years or less. It includes companies like Apple, Stargate, Hyundai, Honda, Stellantis, Mercedes-Benz, Johnson & Johnson, the list goes on, adding up to almost $5 trillion and counting in pledged reshoring efforts and investments in America. Secondly, these tariffs are working in real time right now, even over the last couple of days. Critics saying that this would isolate America and people would laugh at the tariffs and start trading amongst themselves and ignore America. Completely wrong. 50 plus countries have called President Donald Trump begging for new tariff and trade deals with America, fair tariff and trade deals. A growing list of countries, in fact, are now promising a 0-for-0 tariff deal with America. Europe, most recently, yesterday, being added to that list. America is a consumer market, and Trump knows this. They all want to sell in our markets, especially China. Even though they're bluffing with increased tariffs on us, these are exporting nations that rely on American markets to profit. And the domestic production that we're about to see happen over the next 4 years is going to lead to tremendous job growth, wage increases, and overall a better economy for America. We're also going to see an incredible increase in GDP. We're going to be able to control the quality of our products being sold to us better. And we're going to wind up increasing our supply chain resilience, which is desperately needed for this country. And then we have Greenland and the Panama Canal, which actually ties into these tariffs and the trade plan that Trump is implementing, believe it or not. The Panama Canal was created by Americans. It was dug decades ago. And then stupidly, it was sold back to Panama for $1 measly, with the promise being that Panama was going to treat America fairly and correctly. They didn't live up to that agreement, and now China has been creeping up their influence in that region, and we're likely going to just take it over outright. Thankfully, Trump is now in office, and he's taking the entire region back, buying it all up, and we are once again going to control that region. And the importance of this region can't be overstated enough. The Panama Canal is a canal that shortens trade ship routes drastically, which helps cut down costs of trade for countries all across the globe. Not only that, but the Panama Canal tolls these trade ships for the convenience, which generates revenue. Whichever country controls this region is going to profit off of trade even more so. And just the fact of being able to control this trade route is a power and dominance display, and it's great to see America reclaiming that region. Greenland also ties into the Panama Canal because as the polar ice caps melt and are broken away by icebreaker ships, new northern trade ship routes are being opened up in that region. On top of that, from a military standpoint, Greenland is a strategical stronghold that America must have control of as well. When you look at the country from a global map instead of just a flat map, you can easily see why, because it's in the Arctic Circle. It's close to countries like China, Russia, etc. And that's why we have a military base up there. And then furthermore, Greenland's natural resources are a gold mine. They are rich in rare earth minerals that our modern day technology is dependent on. And they also have an abundance of oil too. And their dilemma is that they only have 56,000 total residents, not nearly a sizable enough population to take advantage of these resources, and not to mention the fact that Denmark is severely underfunding that country. It all adds up to a bunch of shiny rocks sitting in the ground waiting to be harvested. That's where America's going to swoop in and honestly save the day. Despite the fact that anti-America and anti-Trump propaganda is being spoon-fed to the Greenlanders right now by Europe, our fake ally, because they hate Trump, we are likely still going to secure the deal, take Greenland, make them a U.S. territory, which will overall improve the quality of life of Greenlanders drastically, mind you, and we are going to wind up gaining a military strategical stronghold as well as all of the resources in Greenland too. But back to a domestic front, we have a serious problem with what Trump calls the enemy from within. Thankfully, that is being dealt with on a multifaceted level, starting first and foremost with the Department of Government Efficiency and Elon Musk. He has now gone through multiple different agencies and departments exposing government bloat, waste, fraud, and corruption. Most notably with USAID, exposing the fact that they were nothing more than basically a glorified money laundering operation for the establishment rich, wasting taxpayer dollars on stupid charities for other countries, some of which you can't even believe were a thing, and also eating taxpayer dollars and giving them right back to the hands of corrupt politicians. And not only has Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency shined light on government bloat, but they've also audited the Department of Education. And alongside Linda McMahon and President Donald Trump, they've exposed quite a bit about this department. Most notably, that most of the funding that has been going into this department, approved by Congress, has gone nowhere else but into the very pockets of the federal workers that work there. And this can't be overstated enough. Education reform in America is clearly one of President Donald Trump's main goals, and it's one of the most important things that can happen under his presidency. We must prioritize the young and future generations, and most importantly, we must protect their young minds while they're learning. Currently, the Department of Education is full of woke-pushing and DEI peddling workers who are polluting the minds of our youth. This needs to change. Linda McMahon is gutting the department, firing tons of these workers, closing down entire department buildings across America. And President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that will do all but actually close down the department for good. Congress will officially have to be the one to do that. But Trump, Elon, and Linda McMahon are working together to make sure that Congress will basically have no choice but to do so. And then finally, trending on X today, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of Health and Human Services. He was trending because he's attempting now to get all 50 states to remove fluoride from their drinking waters, stating that we now know from studies that fluoride only benefits us when topically applied and has zero benefit to being ingested. Also going on to state that furthermore, it actually is harmful to humans when ingested over periods of time, linking it to the increase in ADHD in our children, as well as linking it to things like women over 50 who have been drinking too much fluoride water throughout their lives, experiencing a drastic uptick in fractured hips. It gets pretty crazy. RFK Jr. is working very hard to improve the health of Americans. He's also attempting to remove dangerous cancer-inducing food dyes from our food. He's re-examining the early childhood vaccine schedule, which seems like an incredibly extreme vaccine schedule for 2-year-olds. He's looking to remove the right of pharmaceutical companies to promote their drugs on television, and he's also re-examining seed oils, pesticides sprayed on our foods, and our use of plastic. We could not have asked for a better Health and Human Services Secretary than RFK Jr. Under President Donald Trump, we are soon to be looking at a nation that will no longer be allowing ourselves to be ripped off by our very allies in trade and business. We are looking at a nation that is already encouraging businesses to reshore and relocate back to America to produce at a much larger domestic scale, which will in turn increase jobs tremendously in this nation and also increase wages for hardworking Americans. We are looking at an America that is looking to expand its empire further in the forms of Greenland, Panama Canal, and possibly other locations, all while simultaneously boosting the quality of life for people who live in these regions. We are looking at an America that cherishes its youth and is proving so by reforming the education that our youth is going to receive in the future, ideally transforming it from what it's become, the liberal-fueled propaganda farm brainwashing centers, into a proper education once again, setting up our youth for success in the future and protecting their minds from woke ideologies. We are looking at an America that is seeking to restore and then maintain once again the health of every American citizen so that they can be more productive to this country and live a much longer and higher quality life. And we are looking at an America that is once again protecting the safety of its citizens via secure borders. This America is prioritizing the working class once again. This is what President Donald Trump's vision is for America. And this vision is being built before our very eyes in real time. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to this channel. It helps out tremendously. This is a new channel, and subscribing to it is 100% free to do. Thank you very much for watching.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.